I finally finished it. Oh my gosh. It's a groovy life. Okay. 8 years. 8 years living in my minivan. 8 years. I've been living in my minivan for 8 years. A minivan. This is my second one. And I have a huge announcement to make. I finally finished it. Oh my gosh. I've been working on this for a full year. The book, my memoir on van life, my Van Life Chronicles. So the name of it, I'll leave the link, okay, in comments and in my video description. And the name of it is 8 Years Living in My Minivan. Van Life Chronicles. It starts off from my decision to leave my home and move into a minivan all the way to now. 8 years. Oh my gosh. It is a fun book. I promise it is really a fun book. And if you know me, if you've camped with me, you might be in the book. Okay? I made you coffee. Let's sit and talk about this 8 years, okay? Some of you have really asked wonderful questions, and I want to address a few of them right now, but we only have about 20 minutes, and I really appreciate you spending that time with me today, because I know time is precious. So here's your coffee. There you go. Here's mine. Cheers. Let's talk about this 8 years, and what is it like living in a minivan? Do you like it? Isn't it cool? Cheers. Okay, so watch it all the way to the end because I got some good stuff to talk about, okay? I know you're curious. Let's go. Who are the people that live in vans? You know, van life really is a movement. There are so many people living in their vehicles now. I like the minivan. To me, the minivan is the middle child of nomad life. Not too big, not too small, just right. Okay, I have a lot of room. Okay, I have good knees. A lot of you said, oh my gosh, you've got really good knees that you can scoot around. Yes, I can sit on my knees. I have good knees. Although I actually whacked my knee really bad twice. As a nomad, I have damaged my knee twice, but I heal very well, obviously. Once, and I talk about this, the one that happened when I was in Amazon. So I'm not gonna tell you about it here. You need to get the book, okay, on Amazon. It's all on Amazon, okay? All you have to do is type in Minivan Lee and all my books come up. Actually my storefront comes up too. I have a storefront of products that I use on a regular basis that I recommend. But I've got How to Live in a Minivan, the Minivan Lee Way, Useful. Oh my gosh, that's a good seller. And then this summer I started writing some thrillers. Just didn't get them finished. They're done. The Guy in the Orange Tent. There is, and I talk about it in the book. Jack and I noticed this guy living in this orange tent, and he had a really nice white pickup truck that was always parked by it. It wasn't a cheap orange tent either. It was a nice one, like REI, but he never came out. When I did a lot of walking, so every time I would walk past it, it's like you could see a shadow in there. One time I got a look at him, one time, and he was a young guy, really good looking guy, handsome, young, maybe later 20s, but he was always in his tent, always in his tent. I mean, it was, he didn't have a fire going whenever I'd see him. So Jack and I, we began to talk about that as like, who is this guy? So that's where the idea came in, okay? So it's a really good thriller. And then I've got Night Owl's Digital Shadows. That's a thriller, and it is totally around van life. This is from the Van Life Intrigue series that I started. Okay, so I've got those 3 books, and now I've got 8 years living in my minivan, Van Life Chronicles, Van Life Chronicles. Okay, so who are the people that live in their vans? Because there's a lot of us. Well, there are people who live in their van, whether it be nice Sprinters, Mercedes Sprinters, ProMasters, Econoline vans that they've done the build out, minivans. Some people are living in their SUVs and their cars. The lower end minivans and cars and SUVs, a lot of people living in those vehicles, they had to do it. There's so many of us now who are being priced out of housing, and we can't afford rent. We can't afford it. We can't afford to buy a home. But even if we did have a home, a lot of people are opting out, saying, I can't afford the taxes, the upkeep, the repairs, all that. I can't do that anymore. And I'm getting too old to be mowing my lawn and do yeah. I mean, changing out your heating cooling system is like $10,000 or more to do that. And there's a lot of elderly senior citizens that can't afford that anymore. A lot of young people are out here in the vans because they're being priced out. They haven't got a good savings going yet. They just got started in life, and they found themselves over the past 4 years just struggling. So a lot of them have moved into their vehicles because that's what they had. I will mention that I've had some reports of from friends that it's different this year at the RTR in Quartzsite, which is that big gathering. The middle of January to February is a big gathering of nomads, van life, okay? And that it's different this year. There's they said a lot more. They're seeing younger people there. And I'm not saying it's the young people that are causing issues, but there's some nasty things going on there. And people seem angry. I think just in general, people have seemed angry over the last few years. So yeah, it's changed, but there's a lot more younger people. So I know they're being priced out. They can't afford, they can't live in their parents' house anymore. Some of them, the parents have cut them off. And they just can't make it, I guess, So it's different than if you're my age, it really is, have a heart, because it is different than it was when we were growing up and starting out in young adult life. Okay. So those are there's people that wanted to do it. And that's how I started out. I wanted to do this, and you'll find out if you want to get the book. And I've talked about it before too. I wanted to do this. And there are a lot of people that have to do it now. And it's a huge following. So van life is a movement. It's happening, man. It's a happening movement. Can you dig it? Right? Far out. It's a groovy life. Okay. Enough of the 60s. More coffee. What do we do all day if we're living in our vans? What do we do? Well, what I do is I do the same as I would do if I'm living in a house, right? I mean, I get up, although here I have to make my bed. I sleep here, and all of my seats are out except the front seat, the captain's chair. My passenger seats are out. The middle row seats of the minivan are out, and the third row seats are out also. I wanted to, although they fold down, that would have been an extra couple £100 that I'd be carrying all the time. So I got those out too. They're gone. And so I can sleep all the way through almost to the front and, past the front seat. And I've got my sleeping bag here, and I sleep on top of it unless it's like 17 degrees. Okay. Under here's my bedding. I did get I think this will come right out. Let's see this. This is show and tell. Ask me before if this little stuffed animal means anything to me. Not really. I just thought it was kind of cute. I'm kind of a kid at heart. I'm a little girl at heart. And I just thought, a little stuffed animal. Yeah. Okay, here's my bed. I bought a self-inflating pad. I did. It folds out, okay? And what you do is you open, I'm not going to do it because then I'd have to take the air out. But you pull this open and air flows in. Sorta. Okay. Sometimes I have to blow a little bit more just to get it up a little bit. But there is foam in here. And I'm telling you what, it is fabulous. It really is. I'll park this here. It is really fabulous. And then I've got my blankets and my pillows and my sheet. And I've got a bunch of towels here. I'm a towel hoarder. I was collecting towels, because I like to put towels on the floor. Let me show you. There are towels down here. And the reason I have the towels is because obviously I don't have a vacuum. So every day I shake out. I have one this is a dark blue beach towel. It tucks under here, and it goes all the way to the end. and I take that out and I shake it. Hi. And I shake it out. And then every week there's other towels down here. I wash all the towels. Okay? That's what I do. I pull up my bed in the morning and I make coffee. I do. And I have a really nice stove here. It's a butane stove. There you go. And I open it up and I make my coffee. I have a special parking place that I go to at night. And if you don't know how to park at night and you're worried about that, I've got 2 videos on that. Look down below. Okay. I think I'll leave the links for you. And then, so early in the morning, I drive to a park or where I'm going to be for the first part of the morning. It might be Walmart. It might be a park. It might be wherever. It might even be at my daughter's house, in front of her house. I'm going to go see her. And so I park and then I make my coffee, okay? Or it might be the gym and I want to get my shower. But first, I want to have some coffee because we all love to have coffee. Nope, this is alcohol. We want to have coffee. I don't do alcohol. I really don't. My parents were not drinkers and I don't like it. When I was younger, I smoked pot, but whenever I would drink alcohol, I do have a scene in my book where Jack and I and Alika were we were the last ones at the campfire, and with this group of people that we were camping with, and he kept passing me the bottle. I forget what it was, but it was really good. It was like, I don't know, what was it, whiskey? And I just don't drink, but oh yeah, it was a fun night. Okay. It was fun, and it's a fun story. Well, so that's what I do. And then I've been writing a lot. Obviously I've been writing, so that's what I do during the day. I've got I can get all my showers and I can exercise at the gym, or I can exercise at the parks, and I can get my showers at the gym. And so basically I'm doing whatever anybody else does, living in a vehicle or living in a house. It's really the same. People say, well, don't you spend a lot of money in gasoline? Not really. I don't do that much driving. If I was out seeing all of the national parks all across the country, oh sure, but I don't do that. I've been across the country back and forth 3 times in this 8 years, and I'm kind of settled in. I'm kind of tired of driving. So I have a special parking place that I go to at night. And if you don't know how to park at night and you're worried about that, I've got 2 videos on that. Look down below. Okay. I think I'll leave the links for you. And then, so early in the morning, I drive to a park or where I'm going to be for the first part of the morning. It might be Walmart. It might be a park. It might be wherever. It might even be at my daughter's house, in front of her house. I'm going to go see her. And so I park and then I make my coffee. Okay. Or it might be the gym and I want to get my shower. But first, I want to have some coffee because we all love to have coffee. Nope, this is alcohol. We want to have coffee. I don't do alcohol. I really don't. My parents were not drinkers and I don't like it. When I was younger, I smoked pot, but whenever I would drink alcohol, I do have a scene in my book where Jack and I and Alika were we were the last ones at the campfire, and with this group of people that we were camping with, and he kept passing me the bottle. I forget what it was, but it was really good. It was like, I don't know, what was it, whiskey? And I just don't drink. But oh yeah, it was a fun night. Okay. It was fun, and it's a fun story. Well, so that's what I do. And then I've been writing a lot. Obviously I've been writing, so that's what I do during the day. I've got I can get all my showers and I can exercise at the gym, or I can exercise at the parks, and I can get my showers at the gym. And so basically I'm doing whatever anybody else does, living in a vehicle or living in a house. It's really the same. People say, well, don't you spend a lot of money in gasoline? Not really. I don't do that much driving. If I was out seeing all of the national parks all across the country, oh sure, but I don't do that. I've been across the country back and forth 3 times in this 8 years, and I'm kind of settled in. I'm kind of tired of driving. So I'm just trying to introduce my 8 years and tell you about the book, 8 years living in my minivan. 8 years. Do you like it? I love it. I know. I will say, I always mention my tray, but I love this tray. This is where I can make my coffee. I can put a towel down or paper towel. I ran out of paper towels. I can't believe that. And then I can, make things. I don't do a lot of cooking anymore. Where do I go? I now only really go a couple different places. Before I went all kinds of places. The Pacific, the East Coast, northern Nevada. Yeah, Arizona, Utah, Texas. Yeah, so that's where I've been, okay? And it's all in the book. But now where do I go? I go in higher elevation in the summer, and I come to Tucson in the winter. Let me tell you about this winter. It's cold. Oh my gosh. It's really cold everywhere this year. To think, oh, well, you're in southern Arizona, so it's probably not that cold. It's cold. And let me just mention, I'm in a van. So these blankets here really keep me warm. I've got 2 wool and a Sherpa blanket, and they keep me so cozy warm. If it really gets too cold, and I crawl inside of my sleeping bag. It's a minus 25 sleeping bag, okay? So yeah, that's really where I go. Now, why am I doing this still? And continuing. I plan to continue with this lifestyle a very long time. Why? Because I now find myself 8 years later, prices have gone up so high that there's no way that I could comfortably afford. I could afford it, but to comfortably afford to rent an apartment, yeah, that I would be hard pressed of buying and living a more comfortable life. Of course, then I'd have to buy furniture, stuff like that. So, yeah, it's become too much. But when you read my book, especially in the beginning, you'll understand why I don't want to rent anymore. Oh my gosh, yeah. And I just recently have done a couple of videos on what people are telling me about the HUD homes and the senior lower income homes, and then the experience that I've had renting. It's like no more. It would take, if I was going to do anything, I'd want to get a tiny house and maybe put it on my children's property. But right now I'm having a really good time doing what I'm doing, okay? And as far as eating, I have a 12-volt refrigerator. I don't want to run down my energy. So what I do is at this point, I'm kind of buying ice. It's not that expensive. Buying ice and putting it in there, to keep my perishables cold, okay? The books. There's 4 of them now. I got 4 books. I've been a busy girl. A lot of this writing I did this summer. I was still healing from my past relationship of 3 years. And I was still healing, so I spent my time in my van, on my laptop, writing. Just writing. I want to show you my really cool table. Hold on. Look at that. Yeah. So I can what I do is I keep this on top of my 12-volt refrigerator. It folds out, okay? And then this, I can adjust the height. There we go. Yeah. I can adjust the height on it. And I can tilt it. Let me see. Yeah, I can tilt it. It's just a matter of putting these and then locking it. Yeah. So I really like this. I had one before, but I wasn't using it and writing it like 3 years ago, and I gave it away. That's the trouble. Sometimes you have to rebuy them again, but this is still a really cool one. And look how easy it is to fold up and store, okay? Well, if you have any questions for me, please leave in comments. I love you guys so much. And I want anything that you need to know and anything that you have a question about, because you might end up here. A lot of people say, oh, I would never do that. You never know. Never say never, because a lot of people are being priced out of homes, and there's reasons for that. And I'm not going to go into that now, but there are reasons why rents are so high. Okay. And somebody's gobbling them all up and then raising rents on them. So yeah. And there's a lot more homeless going on right now, and especially for senior citizens, right? I mean, the streets are almost becoming a nursing home out here. You know what I'm saying? You know? They really are. So leave questions and I'll answer them. Okay. Well, I love you. And the books, I'll put 4 books. I'll put them out here. And please subscribe and give me a thumbs up, okay? Now, if you want to help support me, you just are a giver and you want to help support me, and it happens all across YouTube channels, especially for nomads that are out here, that the viewers like to send them a little something here and there, send them a little something. So I've got minivanlee.com. I get 100% of that. If you go with Patreon or something like that, they take out like 25%. So if you want to give to me, go to minivanlee.com. It's secure as Amazon is if you're going to order something. So there's that. Okay. And okay, till tomorrow. Love you guys. Do you like my minivan? And get the book, 8 years living in my minivan. There are some good stories in there. It's a good spin. Okay. I love you. Bye. Mwah. Bye.